by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing. I'm your host, Matt Cott, and alongside of me this week is the one, Jake Belts. What's up, Jake?
What's up, Matt? How are you?
Oh, really good. We got a couple things this week. We got a guest interview this week coming up on our show in a few minutes. Stephen Wazzie will be joining us on the show tonight, but then we're going to be talking a little bit about the schedule preview, and we're going to be talking about the Clash coming up. You know, it's a good week if you're a big NASCAR fan, you know? But football finally through the conference championship games. I feel like our time to shine in NASCAR is here with the Cup Series returning this Sunday at Bowman's Gray Stadium. So, Jake, I'm so excited to talk all of that with you and everybody listening to us live on YouTube tonight, Facebook. Feel free to continue following us, liking us, promoting us. We appreciate all the love and the support with all of our fans. But, Jake, I don't want to cut us short. But like I said, we have Stephen Wazzie joining the show, and let's get him on our guest hotline, and let's welcome the driver of the Craftsman Truck Series, Stephen Wazzie. Stephen, how are you, my man?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. First of all, really appreciate you joining our podcast this evening. I know with NASCAR season coming up and all that type of stuff, it's getting close to the green flag, right? The 2026 season, and we appreciate your time this evening with us here on the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Like I said, happy to be here. Really excited to see what you guys got for me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely not going to put you on the hot seat as much, but like I said, your story is just so cool, and we came across you back in 2024. And I was like, I got to get this guy on my show. And I know it's been a couple of years coming, but like I said, I appreciate you finally joining us. We're going to open up things tonight, though, Stephen. Let's open up with something fun. You are a playable character in NASCAR 25. Have you been able to play as yourself as a driver in the game yet?
Yeah, I have. I actually, the day it came out, I have a sponsor who is they're called Snapback Sports. They're big in the college sports community, but do a lot of sports content on social media. They've got a ton of Instagram and Twitter followers, and I met their CEO founder by chance, along with his brother and Icy Vert, who, if you may remember, was our Twitter for a while. One of my very close friends in real life. So we were able to get them on the game, and when we did, they decided that they wanted to shoot some content with the Snapback Sports truck. So I went up to New York to their corporate office and got to film some game content up there. It's kind of crazy, and I mean, I know I'm the second lowest. Actually, they moved me up. I'm now the third lowest driver in the NASCAR Truck Series, but third lowest means not only are you in the game, but you are not the worst person in the game. So I take pride in both things.
It's true.
Awesome.
It's true.
I'm
a big player of it too. I've been playing it for a while. I've been addicted to it.
Yeah. I just moved up in career mode. It sucks. I don't play video games that often. I'm a little too busy these days. Used to be big into them, loved them, but now it's like it's slipped away. So I didn't have a next gen console. And of course, if you're going to be in a video game, you have to own that video game. So I had to drop like $350 on an Xbox, but honestly, like worth it, because now if somebody comes over, I could be like, "Hey, you want to see something cool? I'm in this video game." Here.
I was in the same boat as you, man. I had to go out and I had the old one, and I had to go out and get the new one because, of course, coming with a new game. Well, you can't put it with every console, so I go drop it. I'm like, I ain't missing out on this game.
Yeah, it's been years. I mean, it's been honestly such a long time since we've had a good NASCAR game, and it's so refreshing to see that we have one. And I found so many people who were complaining about it, and I'm like, look, is it NASCAR Thunder 2004? No. Is it a really good game that I'm happy to play? Yes. And like, you got to realize this is a group of guys who has never done this before. They've never built the NASCAR game from scratch. It's only going to get better every year we have it. So I think the future is bright for NASCAR gaming.
So was that your first NASCAR game that you played, Steven? Was NASCAR Thunder 2004?
I don't know if it was the first. It was the one I played the most when I was a kid, for sure. Which is weird. Excuse me. I had chili for dinner. So the like I was probably 6 or 7. Nice, of course. God, I was probably 6 or 7 when I really started playing NASCAR games. So it probably would have been 08 around the time when I would have really gotten into it. But for some reason, 04 was my favorite one. So I got into 04, and that was and it was like on my dad's old PS2. Like I didn't have it. I don't know what it was, but I was playing PS2 back then, even though the PS3 and the Xbox 360 had just come out. I just really liked the PS2. And even now, I have that PS2 with me in this apartment, and every now and again I fire it up to play like Need for Speed Underground, Thunder 2004, some of those old games. Awesome. I'm like, they're just better. I don't think it's nostalgia. Like I actually think those games are better. Like if they made that exact game today, I would play that over most of the current games we have. So that game was like instrumental in my racing and my love of racing.
It's like cars. They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah, no, you don't have to tell me. I have been we'll probably touch on this at some point because it's a big thing that I'm working on right now. But I've been a Dodge guy through and through my whole life. I've owned nothing but Hemis, nothing but Dodges. And the fact that they stopped making the Hemi engine is like now obviously it's back, but only for the pickups for now. But like it was so dumb to me. I'm like, nobody buys these cars for anything but the V8 motor. That people buy Dodges. I don't even know what the hell Dodge makes besides the Charger Challenger and Durango V8. Like what else do they make? Literally. So I found that pretty silly, and obviously was relieved when they came back with the Hemi and now are coming back into NASCAR.
Yeah.
It's definitely a great sign, right? With Dodge coming back into NASCAR, it's a great time too, right? Like Rams coming back into the Truck Series and all that type of stuff. But Steven, you kind of touched on it, right? You said that NASCAR Thunder 2004 kind of was like instrumental with like your racing interest and all that. First of all, your story again, it is so cool to us. Primarily because we are right outside Philadelphia. We're in the suburbs of Philadelphia. You're a South Jersey dude. Love that. If I'm not mistaken, it's Swedesboro you're from, right?
Yeah. I live on Broad Street right now, though. Like I am.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
On Broad Street. I'm a block from City Hall right now. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. But I want to ask you, like, first, like you talked about NASCAR Thunder. What else got you like interest in auto racing? And then 2, what was your main inspirations for your racing career?
Yeah, so I guess when I was really, really little, I always just loved cars. Like I don't know what it was. My parents thought there was actually something wrong with me because cars would drive by us when we were on the street, and I would name the cars, but I was not yet talking in complete sentences, and I was like 2 or 3 years old. Like I was not speaking words at this point. I was pretty much mute except for car brands. Obviously that got fixed, and now my mother likes to say I never shut up, you know.
Every mother does that, don't worry.
Yeah, right. So that moved on to a love for the video games, and then one day it was Thunder 2004. I won the championship in my career mode, and I was the exact line, I don't usually say this part often, but the line I said to my dad was, "Dad, I just won the championship as an 8-year-old kid." Because in the game you could set your birth year to 2001.
Sure.
And even though it was 2004 in the game, it was like, oh my God, a 3-year-old just won the Cup Series championship. But I walked upstairs and I'm like, Dad, I just won the championship on this NASCAR game. I bet you I'd be pretty good at it in real life. Now, obviously, he didn't know that was going to turn into me being a 41 overall in the most recent NASCAR video game. But after that, he took me to an indoor rental go-kart track for my 9th birthday.
Okay.
We did that forever. And I don't know, you guys are greater Philadelphia area. So there's 2 tracks sort of close to us that are gas-powered go-karts. There's one in Delaware called Extreme Zone now. It used to be called Mid-Atlantic Grand Prix. Okay. And then there's one in Allentown called Lehigh Valley Grand Prix.
Very familiar with the
Yeah,
Lehigh Valley Grand
I've been to the Lehigh Valley one. Yep.
Yes. So my dad took me to the one in Delaware, and we did that for like 4 years. And the only competitive stuff I did outside of the leagues at Mid-Atlantic was one time they had a race with kids under 8. It was the 5 best under 18 kids from Mid-Atlantic and the 5 best under 18 kids from Lehigh Valley. And the owners put I think they bet on it. I don't know this for a fact. I'm pretty confident they had a wager on it because they were intense about it. And the Lehigh Valley guys showed up in like full fire suits, and we had nothing on. We were just all mixed match. It was like a ragtag bunch versus the race team. Funnily enough, one of my best friends in racing, Brenna Schubert, she actually ended up being on that team, and I hated her for years. She was like my arch nemesis for that. And then I ran into her like years later. We became friends. I don't know. That was it. I did that till I was 13.
Okay.
It wasn't even me who got bored of it. It was my dad. My dad was sick and tired of going to the track and watching me run laps around the same exact place over and over again. And it was awesome at times too, because there would be like 25-year-old kids who are now my age, which I think is so funny, who would show up to the racetrack and be like all cocky with their friends, and they just get their ass waxed by some 11-year-old. And it was so funny. I look back at that and I'm like, damn, now I'm the 25-year-old getting waxed. So we moved to competitive karting.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like Formula One style go-karts, right?
Okay.
They look sort of in a way like F1 cars, but not really. But they're open wheeled. No seatbelts. They'll do 80, 90 miles an hour. They're batshit crazy. And that's where most of the people we know in professional motorsports start out. Dirt racing is not like a place where people start out in most other forms of motorsports. It's literally only NASCAR. That is one of those things. Which is funny because I only wanted to do NASCAR, so why didn't I go to dirt? Why didn't I end up in late models? I don't know. But I did go-karts, and eventually one of the kids I actually remember watching so there's micro, mini, junior, senior, masters in that order for age categories. Mm-hmm. And I was a junior/senior, and I remember watching a kid in micro mini coming up by the name of Connor Zilich, and he won fucking everything. Like, he was so good. He had a brother too. I think his name was Bradley Zilich. But Brad, I don't know what happened to Brad. But I actually remember Brad because I'm pretty sure Brad is older than Connor. But either way, so I won a national championship. I raced overseas a couple of times, and then I retired. My dad got sick when I was young. Okay. And when you're 16, like, you're not making any money on your own. It's a lot of it's coming from mom and dad. And I've never once, despite contrary popular belief on some social media platforms by some people, I've never once said that I am from like a poor family. That's not the narrative I play. I am from a very well-off family. I am not from a racing wealthy family. I am not from a family that can go drop 6 figures a year on motorsports and still, support the other 2 siblings I have and my mom. And when my dad had to start spending money on cancer treatments, well, that changes the ball game. The first thing to go out the window is, of course, racing. Sure. I stayed in the sport for a few years after that. I worked as I got paid a driver coach once in a seat. Okay. Then I just did it for money. Then I did broadcasting and commentary. But then I went to college at Virginia, UVA. And I worked for ESPN while I was there. Did a bunch of stuff. COVID hits. You go home, Virginia's more of a liberal school. So they were a little slower coming back from COVID than some other universities. So I was home in 2021 still, in January of 2021. And all this news about Daytona is coming out, and I'm just like mad about it. Like, I've been out of racing for four years at this point. And when my dad first got sick, the prognosis was like 6 months. It was bad.
Okay.
They were like, yeah, he is in some trouble. And now here we are in 2021. Dad is still around, and Dad is upset with me because I am just taking out this Daytona frustration on everybody.
Sure.
So he walks into my room. He's like, what's your problem? I'm like, Dad, I never got my shot in racing. And he gets mad. And this is a guy who's, fighting cancer at this point, going on 5 years. He committed all of his time, all of his money to racing when he could, right? And now something that he can't control took that away. And he took it as, I am blaming him for no longer being in racing.
Okay.
So he starts to walk away before he turns around, walks back, sticks his finger like an inch from my face, and goes, son, let me tell you something. If I had treated my cancer the way you treated racing, I would have died 5 fucking years ago.
No kidding.
And turns and walks away. Doesn't say another word to me for days. So I start reaching out frantically to people because now I've got a fire under my ass.
Sure.
Yep.
And I'm about to give up, and I get in touch with Mark Zumoff, of all people. And if you guys are Sixers,
the Sixers guy, yeah.
You know who that is, Sixers commentator. I had become friends with him through commentating.
Okay.
And he connects me with somebody at NBC who connects me with somebody in North Carolina who somehow knows Josh Ryan.
Wow.
And I packed everything up, moved to North Carolina, got a job working at RBR as an unpaid intern while I was doing classes. And it was awful because I would be at the shop from 9 to 5 pretty much. And I would do like calc class. Changing a transmission in some late model, right? It was crazy work. And then from 6 to 2 in the morning, I'd be at Domino's delivering pizzas to try and pay the bills.
Sure.
But then Josh and I became friends on a hauler ride back from Knoxville, of all places. And the rest is history. He sort of has helped me figure it out step by step from that point on.
That's incredible. Mark Zumoff. Out of all people, Mark Zumoff.
That's an incredible story.
It is a super bizarre story. And so there are crazy details too that get left out. Like, for example, the money that I had made to move to North Carolina came from 2 sources. One was gambling on NASCAR. I made a bunch of money playing daily fantasy contests. I even got a job working for the Action Network and guys who later became my sponsors. That's why I have so many gambling companies as sponsors.
Sure.
Because before I got involved in the sport, I worked for all these companies as an analyst and made content for them. The other thing that I did was I made a bunch of money in COVID by chance. I had saved up maybe $8,000 delivering pizzas, and I invested every cent of it. And it turned into $70,000 by the time 2021 rolled around, and I was ready to move to North Carolina. Just from stupid stocks, oh my God, Red Robin gourmet burgers for 32 cents. And then when I sold it, it was worth 27. And I'm like, that's nuts. So I bought up all of these stocks. I got super lucky. And that's what I used to fund my late model, my very short late model career and my move to North Carolina. I did not do well in late models. And that's because I bought a $10,000 all-in race car and just was I'm just going to go run laps. I don't give a shit about running well, which honestly has been a theme in my stock car career. I'm just going to go buy laps and I don't give a crap about running well.
Sure.
But one of these days I would like to go into some good equipment and see what that.
We would love to see you in good equipment, by the way. We would love to see you in good equipment.
You and me both. So I was, I just was I have to submit my application because I could get some sponsors in trucks, I think, and the national scene, but I'm not going to get enough to go racing on late models. And luckily enough, after some back and forth with, truly, I imagine I could tell this story now because he's not with NASCAR anymore, but I probably shouldn't, but at the end of the day, I used some backdoor methods to get approved, got approved, ran, and then after that, I haven't done anything stupid enough to get my license taken away. So
good.
everybody's been like, "Hey, you just kind of belong. I guess you should stay," and that's,
That's
how it
awesome.
works. Like it. I haven't done anything that makes me look like Chris Wright yet. So, and if they're not taking Chris Wright's license away, they're not taking
Yeah.
mine away. That's
No. That's fair. That is true.
yeah, and the rest is like I said, the rest is kind of history.
That's incredible.
That's awesome. Going off of you had touched on that you went to the University of Virginia. You went there for economics, right?
Yeah. I don't really know how that fits in with anything I've done in life so far.
Stocks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I guess even though I wasn't really I was like a semester into. I didn't declare a major until my junior year, so by the time I was done in the stocks, I hadn't even been an econ major. Yeah. So UVA for econ.
And then what? You're at Temple.
NASCAR. Yeah,
Temple
yes.
now for law.
Now Temple Law School. I don't really.
That's
know
awesome.
any of those things connect, but I'm actually getting ready to graduate law school in May. I take the bar exam in July. And yeah, I am not to be doom and gloom about it, but it's almost time to move on a little bit more from racing than I have in past seasons.
Mhm.
So the one thing that I'm really banking on this year, or hoping that I could land, is a seat in the Ram free agent program. That would be awesome because clearly I have the attachment to Ram and
Mhm.
Hemi and Dodge, but also because I think it's one of the only realistic shots I have to get into decent equipment.
Sure.
Because what people don't realize is, like, if you want to go sit in that 11 truck for a race, it's 125 to 150 grand, like just for one. Like, where you find nobody's putting up that sponsorship for a race that gets 800,000 viewers. It's just not. It's not worth it. What is the point? And that's why we see so many people these days who are Chris Wright, because it's like it's wherever the money comes in, man, and it's nuts because, and I'll be the first to admit, if we were to do NASCAR based on a meritocracy, where people who belong in the sport, like think about football, basketball, baseball. It is if you are the best football, basketball, baseball player in the world, you're going to end up in the top. You're going to end up in the NFL. You're going to end up in the NBA. You're going to end up in the MLB. NASCAR is not like that. I guarantee you, if you took the 5 best the best stock car drivers in the world, maybe 2 of them are in the Cup Series today, and I bet you a couple of them are guys we've never even heard of.
Interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah. So and like, you pencil it back to law school. Why am I in law school as a race car driver? Well, because I know that I can't find this sponsorship forever. And I know that even if I started winning races, I still might not find that sponsorship. And I know that it's a long shot that I start winning races. So at the end of the day, like I need to have a career, and I've worked really hard throughout high school and undergrad and now law school to set myself up for a future that will provide very well for me, very well for, I hope I have a family one day, right? Like very well for all the people around me. And, hopefully even pays enough to the point where I can buy an opportunity or 2 a year in NASCAR on my own.
Temple Law, if you're listening right now, here's your driver right here. Just
already tried. Already tried. If there is a route that you can think of, I've already thought of it.
I'm sure you did. It stinks because you see Texas A&M on cars. And it's like, hey, Temple right here.
I tried for Pocono last year.
Damn.
And then it actually got decent discussions with them. And then they laid off 7% of their entire staff across the whole university.
Gotcha.
So not exactly the best time to be spending money on stock cars, I guess. But yeah, I've tried every which way. It's why I have, like, my favorite guys are the guys who really grinded their way. Like you think of Michael McDowell in Cup. He's my prime example, right? Starting Park guy. I could never relate to what it's like to start in Park. Starting Park guy, didn't, like looked like he was dead end. Like he was driving motorhomes and buses and literally doing 7 laps a weekend. And now he's a Daytona 500 champion who has won races on merit at this point in his career. He has won a race based on speed, he dominated at Indy Road Course.
Absolutely.
And he probably has a good shot at winning one more, maybe two more before his career is done.
I agree.
You look at guys like Brennan Poole. You look at guys like Ryan Ellis. You look at guys like Garrett Smithley. You look at these guys who just hang around NASCAR, and what Josh Bilicki, like great examples of the guys that I like to root for day in and day out. They're not here winning races. You know why? They're not buying their ride. These are guys who have built up networks of sponsorships over the course of their career. And like you look at Poole. Poole's got a different guy in his race car every week who throws 40, 50 grand at him to go racing. It's awesome stuff. And it might not be that much. Part of Brennan Poole's merit is that he is such a talented race car driver that he finds ways to not damage his equipment and finish higher to get more purse money. And like, that's why he continually finds rides. But it's hard for me to root for guys like, and like, this is not a knock. I will knock Chris Wright all day. Anybody else I talk about, I'm not. There's only one other guy I'll knock openly. That's Dean Thompson. Anybody else, I won't knock. I won't knock openly. But like, take Brandon Jones, for example. And Brandon Jones, talented race car driver.
Yep.
Brandon Jones' dad is J.R. Jones. His dad founded Rheem. Like, that's a big reason why Brandon Jones continues to get rides these days. And like I said, it's not like he does nothing with them. He wins a race pretty much every season he's in the sport, and that's no small feat in Xfinity. But at the end of the day, like if you were analyzing, like if Denny Hamlin stopped winning races, Denny Hamlin would probably lose his ride at Gibbs, right? Like that's how it works. Yeah. That's not how the ladder system works anymore. It's if you can buy the ride, as long as you can buy the ride, you'll be in it. The guys I just listed that I said I would knock are perfect examples of that. So, that's sort of why I've gone to law school. I've needed to set myself up for the future, and that's what I'm going to do.
That's awesome.
No, that is awesome. Like, yeah, and good luck to you on your exam for sure. But off of that, going to school, how you balancing school and racing for Craftsman Truck? How's that? It's crazy world.
Yeah, it's brutal because I also work 30 hours a week practically full time, not quite, because I take a day a week off where I have classes. But at this point, this semester specifically, I'm essentially a night student. I have no classes before 5:30 except for Wednesdays. So every day I'm at the office 9 to 5 working as a law clerk, right? So the only day off I have is Wednesday, and Wednesday I have class from 10 to 4. Sure. So it's tough. And it wasn't all that different last semester. And like great example is I had a night class in March of last year, right? That class ended at 8. I drove straight to Philly International, got on a flight to Vegas, landed at 1 a.m. local time, checked into a hotel, went to bed, was up at 7, straight to the track, practice qualifying race all that day, was on a 12:30 a.m. red eye back to Philadelphia. Wow. Like that. Wow. And that is a Thursday night to Saturday 7 a.m. And by Saturday 7 p.m., I'm reading textbooks. Like that's sort of what it was like in those times. So it's really difficult, but a few notes. One, being a full-time lawyer it's not like it's any less work. You just get to focus on one specific job, right? Working 70, 80 hours a week. 2, I'm a young guy. I can handle it. And I know that in 20 years, if I look back and was like, man, I was a NASCAR driver and I kind of gave up on it, I would probably regret that a lot. And there was a time in my career where I did give up on it. Like my whole objective after my dad's commentary outbreak towards me, where he was like, if I had treated my cancer, yada, yada, I wanted to do it once just to prove him wrong. And like, I made that one start in 2022 at Mid-Ohio. And I was like, I'm good. I'm good. Like, this is it. And then I met, and this is going to get a little rom-com-y, but I met a woman, like woman of my dreams at the time.
Okay.
And like totally by happenstance. Crazy story. And we ended up at a bar together on Pong night of all things. And this is context. This is during a semester. So Mid Ohio was 2022 July, right?
Mhm.
This is 2023 March at this point, March. And I am in a dead zone. Like I'm done racing. I've graduated college. I have a gap semester. Not really sure if I even want to go to law school. I am just lost. So I ended up in Center Valley, Pennsylvania, by DeSales University.
Yep, I live in Hellertown, so
Yep.
right down the street. Yep.
Yep. So there's a bar in Center Valley. I cannot believe I'm forgetting what it's called. I'm blanking on it. Molly's. It's called Molly's.
Yes.
That's a yep.
Yes.
Yep.
The bar is called Molly's, and Molly's has Pong night. And I ended up at Molly's with this woman as her Pong partner. And she started telling me this story about how she was like, by the way, she's immensely talented, but she wanted to be like a singer and go into all this other stuff. And she gave up on it after her dad died. And I was like, man, what would have happened if my dad had died? And he's not dead.
Mhm.
Like I decided that was the only reason I was doing this. Like it's like, what am I doing? What if I end up looking back the way that she looks back at her past?
Sure.
And I that week I called Josh Ryome and I was like, dude, I want to do Martinsville. Like I will get to Daytona or Talladega. I'm gonna run every track type until I'm approved for everything.
Mhm.
And we're gonna figure this out. And I had offered him at that time an opportunity. I was like, hey, I'll sell my car. Just hold Martinsville for me. I will get you the money. And I actually found enough sponsorship to do Martinsville. And that Martinsville race. So this all starts with a woman. That's how it always starts, man. It always starts with a woman. That Martinsville race was the very same Martinsville race where NASCAR ran rain tires for the first time on an oval. And
yeah.
it was awful. It was rain delayed. We only did 97. We did like 103 laps or something, and 65 of them were under yellow. It ended at like 12:30. I got back to my apartment at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m.
Ooh.
I had a 10 a.m. opening shift at Outback Steakhouse the next morning. I got one of those tables, man, that was just the worst. They're old, they're miserable. The Diet Coke is flat, the blooming onions, under those types of people. And I was ready to lose it. And I go back to the kitchen and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I don't know that there's another experience in all of professional sports. Maybe there's a few minor league baseballers, but probably no athletes who are on national television week in and week out who had this experience where they were on TV Friday night and at Outback Steakhouse as a waiter Saturday morning. So I tweeted about it. The tweet went viral, and Outback Steakhouse sponsored me later that year. And now I find myself approved for every track type across trucks and Xfinity, except for some reason super speedways in Xfinity. I don't really get that rule because if you think I'm qualified to drive 180 miles an hour at Daytona or Talladega in a truck, I don't really understand how that's different from doing it in an Xfinity car. There's a very specific reason why I'm annoyed about that, but I'm going to let bygones be bygones and figure that out at some point. So yeah, pretty cool stuff considering how far I've ended up. That same season, though, in 2023, I could not find sponsorship for St. Louis, and I really needed St. Louis to bridge the gap between Pocono, right? So I had Martinsville done, and then I needed to get 1.5 / Pocono done, right? Well, there's not really any mile tracks that get you approved for 1.5 in trucks. That's the problem, right? There's very few of them. It's like Milwaukee and St. Louis are like the two that they approved you for at that time.
Gotcha.
So my options were run well at a short track over a period of multiple races or do this one race. And I'm like, damn, I don't have the equipment nor the money to run well in short track racing. So I sold my literal car my street car to do a NASCAR race.
No kidding.
It was a Dodge Charger with a Hemi in it. Sold it to do a NASCAR race. And then, that story did not get a lot of attention, which surprised me because I'm like, this is nuts. Like, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I ended up buying a 2009 Nissan Altima off the guy who lived in my basement. That's a story for a different day. But yeah. And then now we're where we're at today. I've driven an Xfinity and I've driven a ton in trucks. I think I've made like 20 starts at this point in my career or something nuts like that. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Not great. No good finishes really at all. But it's a career. Like you I have always said I don't understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't get people who don't like guys who drive shitty equipment. We're the guys who got it. We're the guys who don't care what we drive. We're just out there to race. Like for me, if I go get, and people don't realize about my deal last year was I got paid. Like Josh Ryan paid me to drive those trucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is unheard of. Almost nobody in trucks and Xfinity is getting a phone call saying, "Will you come drive my truck? I will pay you."
That's incredible. That's crazy.
Incredible.
I did. And sure, did I get to do the whole race? No, I didn't. Did I get to run laps for free in a NASCAR stock car? Yeah. And you think about it, Josh sells those rides for 40 or 50 grand a race a lot of times, right? Let's say it's 40. We'll be generous, right? If I run a fourth of a race at 40 grand, I got $10,000 worth of racing for free.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. So no, you were going to say
that's incredible
something.
when you put it at that. No. Sorry about that. No, I was just saying that's incredible when you break it down in that perspective, right? Like damn, like you said, $10,000 for free laps around in a stock car series. That's it. Listen, you're living everyone that loves NASCAR. You're living the dream, man.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I do want to ask you, and folks, whoever's listening to us online, Stephen Mallozzi, Craftsman Truck Series driver, on with us at the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast. Stephen, you mentioned you raced at Mid-Ohio and Martinsville. I actually forgot that you raced at that race with the rain tires. Yeah. That race, as a fan, when I was watching, I was like, that's like, because you're right. That race went until like 12:30 at night. And you're like, what is going on? But you also raced at Pocono, Gateway, Vegas, you mentioned, Homestead, Rockingham, Richmond, Darlington, and New Hampshire in the truck series. And then you raced at Pocono in the Xfinity series. In your opinion as a driver, which track was your favorite?
Pocono. It's my home race. Pocono's awesome. It's so fun and fast.
Yeah.
Like you come out of turn 3 and you can't, like, it doesn't make sense, but you can't really see turn 1. Like, it's insane.
Okay.
It's like you can't describe it unless you do it. And then you're just on the throttle for like 13 seconds doing nothing but thinking about what's going to happen when you get to turn 1. I loved Pocono. I loved Mid-Ohio. And I loved Gateway. I hate Bristol. I hate it.
So it's funny because that was my next question.
Yeah. I despise Bristol with all my heart. I also don't love Darlington. Darlington is scary. Granted, I was in a really, really bad truck that race. And I think that's probably a big part of it. But it is a balls to the wall racetrack. There's a reason why people crash all the time.
What makes Darlington so difficult as a driver?
It is like it's the equivalent of driving like a 1940s car on the highway today.
Okay.
That's like what it is. It's an old racetrack. It's bumpy. Mm-hmm. It's loose. It's somehow still really fast. And like, if you miss the setup at Darlington, it is ugly. Like, it is not a good time at all. I think though Darlington and Bristol are the only two tracks I don't like. I'm pretty neutral in Martinsville, and I liked New Hampshire. I did enjoy New Hampshire, by the way, gorgeous place to drive.
Beautiful, yeah.
So
as a fan, I went up back in 2017. Beautiful track.
Yes, in the middle of effing nowhere, but gorgeous racetrack. And I'm trying to think. Rockingham was really cool. Rockingham was so cool to be a part of. Also super treacherous, but not like different way than Darlington. Darlington is just spooky.
Mhm.
The Rock was definitely a little spooky, but not the way I thought Darlington was. I did not hate Rockingham that much.
Okay.
Gotcha.
It was also cool to be a part of
So
history. Like,
now
I
I
was,
want to have another.
yeah, I was
That's
gonna say
right.
I was in the first race to ever be back at Rockingham, like the first National Series race. That was something to
Mhm.
be, pretty proud of.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. So, out of all the tracks that you have not raced at yet, which one would you love to race at?
Daytona or Talladega, easy. Those are it.
Gotcha.
Um,
I figured.
yeah. I've actually said out loud, like, if I get to do Daytona, there are two more things I want to knock out of my career. One, I would like to do Pocono, St. Louis, New Hampshire, a track I've been to already, um,
Mhm.
in good equipment. I would like a shot to say, hey, I can run with these guys. I can always do it. I just want to prove that I can do it once. Two is I need to do a plate race. I need to go to Daytona or Talladega and just do it. And like one of the things that sucks about living your dream is you start to forget sometimes that you're doing it.
Mhm.
And I've realized over the past 5 years or so that some things about racing don't give me that same whimsy that it used to. Like I don't walk into every racetrack and get goosebumps anymore. I still walk into Daytona, still pull up outside of Talladega, still get goosebumps.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is pretty interesting. Have you ever been to you've said you've been to Daytona?
Oh yeah. I worked on the team. So Josh
Yeah.
Raume actually ran a cup car in the 500 2022, my
Okay.
first season racing. And I was actually a part of that team. So that was
Nice.
awesome to be a part
Yeah.
of. So that was cool. And then I've been to Talladega multiple times as a fan, So
No kidding.
yeah,
Interesting.
I went in 2023 and in 2024 both times as a fan.
Yeah, I've been to Daytona as a fan. I went to the 500. William Byron ended up winning it. Ross Chastain, I'm a big Chastain guy. Was coming out of the tri-oval, ends up trying to get around Austin Cindric. They both spun right in front of me, and I was that was the longest drive of my life. This is a Chastain guy. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like that was his 500. But it is like you said, New Hampshire is absolutely beautiful. Like you said, it's in the middle of nowhere, and as a fan, I remember sitting in the stands and it was a beautiful, like 75-degree, no humidity. And it felt like the sky was just like right above you. And I felt like I could touch it. And I'm like, this is one of the most gorgeous tracks I've ever been to.
No, it's fantastic. It's awesome. It's awesome. Pocono is pretty cool too.
I love
The
Pocono.
Pocono.
I do too. I
Love
I
Pocono.
love the racetrack of Pocono. I adore it. Um, yeah. I think that's definitely my answer on that. Like I said, I think if I do those two things, I could walk away and like really look back at this and say, man, I did it. Like so like this is gonna make me sound like a narcissist. I occasionally like occasionally, I'll look at my Wikipedia page and I'll see all zeros on the stat line, like 0 poles, 0 wins, 0 top tens. And I'm like,
Okay.
man, if that just said 1 top 10, like I would feel like I accomplished what I needed to accomplish in my career. In my life, I'd be like, that's it. I proved at some point that I belonged here. And that matters to me. That is important to me. And like there's also the alternative too, which is you get 3 races in Gibbs Xfinity equipment and you shit the bed. Then I can also walk away and say, I didn't belong here. And this was I tried. Like I did something most people could never do. I will be in this upper echelon of motorsports forever in the record books, in the history books, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
That's a win-win.
First of all, you to have a Wikipedia page as cool as anything. Being able to look yourself up is pretty cool. Just saying.
I agree. It is pretty cool. It's pretty nuts.
So you mentioned like I said, you race trucks and you've raced Xfinity, and you've done both of that at Pocono.
Yeah.
as a driver, what is the difference between driving a truck at Pocono and an Xfinity car?
Oh, huge differences. Huge. So the truck is easy to drive at Pocono. Not easy, but it's secure to drive at Pocono, right? You don't use, at least the last 2 times, I did it in 23 and 24. I didn't do it last season. You don't use the brakes in trucks at Pocono.
Really?
You lift. And the drag of the truck slows you down enough to the point where you can just get back on.
Nope.
In Xfinity, you use the brakes and you are loose. Like you are like on edge. You are pushing those things to the max. And granted, that might have been partially car setup, but I was down a cylinder the whole time and felt like I was missing it, right? So I can only imagine what it felt like on all 8 of them. Probably pretty nuts.
Yeah.
So it is substantially easier in my book to drive a truck than it is an Xfinity car at least Pocono specifically.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jake and myself, we have not done either.
No.
So to hear from a driver's perspective is it's really cool because every year we go up. Our podcast has a tailgate up there every year, and for us, it's our home track too. So the atmosphere is awesome. The fans are awesome. We love watching the races up there, and it's like watching the drivers on the Tricky Triangle. It's like this is like you got to be skilled to do this. Like this is insane.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the atmosphere is totally awesome. I love Pocono. I think Pocono. Nothing rivals to me Talladega because that's Talladega, but Pocono is like not far. Pocono is a great race. It's like a family-friendly Talladega is what I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm actually really upset trucks got taken off the schedule for Pocono. So I was looking forward to doing that, but I'm trying to get an ARCA ride for that because I think that's something I can muster together.
Sure.
And that I think is what I'm going to end up figuring out how to do.
Well, definitely best of luck with that. If you happen to run ARCA, we'll definitely be up there as a podcast with you on, my man. Definitely be there for you.
That would be great.
I just going back to racing Pocono. You know how they have those. You can go up there and do like 4 laps in like a stock car that's beyond governed to shit. I choke them out all the time. Like I would just love to do that, and that ain't even a freaking quarter of what these guys are going through.
You know, it's funny. When I did Mid-Ohio, I was worried because I was not that great at the H pattern yet. Because I'd only done like 4 late model races, and I did not run particularly well in any of them. And my late model had a demented transmission, like demented. It was straight from hell. So my confidence was a little shot going into it. I actually considered buying one of those arrive and drives before my debut race, just to like, okay, I got this. I'm good. Yeah.
No,
I didn't end up doing it, but that's my
That would have been good. But obviously you've seen, but fans are obviously excited the chase format's back. Obviously, I know me and Matt are for sure. You probably are as well. But as a driver, what are your thoughts on the chase format being back? How do you think this is going to pan out this season?
I think it's the best of both worlds. So I am always, as a driver, an advocate of full points, right? If you dominate, you deserve to dominate. But realistically, like even when we were at go-karts, it wasn't called the playoffs, but there was an emphasis on the final round of things. Like there used to be this series called the Florida Winter Tour, and the third round was double points, right? Like, and you know, that makes it worth 2 rounds worth for a single round in a 3-round series. That's like half the series at that point. And I don't disagree with the sentiment that over a 36 race season, you could use a reset. You could use my biggest problem, and I think everybody's biggest problem with the playoffs. It should not come down to one race. Denny Hamlin's season should not, and nobody's season. By the way, last season's a bad example because I think Larson would have won in a full points format too.
Yeah, he would have won chase.
But either way, right? Looking back at it, it was stupid that we had an entire 36 race season come down to William Byron blowing a tire with 2 to go. Like, utterly insane. That should never, ever, ever be the case. So, good riddance to the playoffs. How do I feel about the chase? I think they did a great job at balancing it. They got rid of winning in. Awesome. I used to love the underdog stories. I'm at a point where I'm so worn out by it and frustrated by the fact that I had to tread Austin Dillon. Like, Austin Dillon winning Richmond should have gotten everybody excited, even if you're not an Austin Dillon fan, because it's a huge upset underdog story. And we're not getting enough of those at this point where we're getting guys who we don't expect to win. But everybody was like, holy shit, what a headache now with the playoffs, right? I don't want that anymore. I don't want to have to be frustrated every time I watch SVG win a road course race and find out he's the 3 seed in the playoffs because he dominates one track type and finishes 29th everywhere else. I want to enjoy SVG's spectacular performances on road courses for what they are. And I think now we are much more able to focus on individualized racing with a more natural season-long storyline as we go throughout the course of a regular racing championship, right? I also think 10 races plus differentials. So, like, the guy who's, 16th, I think has 35 points, and the guy who's first has 2,100, something like that. I don't know if that's the exact math. If somebody can make up that gap over 10 races and pass 15 other drivers or 11 other drivers, I forget how many the chases, they probably deserve the chase if they pass that many drivers. Like, no, Tony Stewart said at the beginning of the chase in 2011 when he won that he did not deserve to be there, and then went on an all-time career dominating stretch, right? And I think he was still top 5 in a full season format after that chase run because it was so substantial. 10 races is about a third of the season. It's too short of a third of the season. That's more than enough to me. If you can't muster enough points in that third of a season to be the champion, I'm fine with not crowning you our champion. I am fine with putting emphasis on the back half of the year. It's fine. I really like what they did. I'm glad that they listened. I'm glad that they dumped winning in. They put more of an emphasis on winning. Great. All great stuff.
Yeah, you brought up a really good point, right? Winning in. And I think that this chase discussion started back in 2024 when Austin Dillon ended up wrecking Joey Logano and then Denny Hamlin to win the race at Richmond. And I think at that point, I think NASCAR looked at it and go, yeah, we got to figure something out because we cannot have this type of racing to determine our championship. And then obviously we saw what happened at Hamlin in the finale of this past season. I think that was the final nail in the coffin. I do love that winning in is finally eliminated because, like you said, you had SVG this past year. He was the 3 seed in the Cup Series playoffs, eliminated in the first round. No impact whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the other thing too, like you said, the underdog story, right? Like, how many more underdog stories do we have to see, right? It was great when we saw Ricky Stenhouse in 2017 and Michael McDowell win the 500 he was in 2021. But at some point, it's like, yeah, these underdog stories, like, it's getting old because you get into the playoffs and they're usually out by the first round.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I know.
So, and I am happy that NASCAR got rid of the winning in, but like you said, they did emphasize winning in points, right? I think we went up to 55 points per a win now, which that's pretty significant.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, it never sat well with me either that winning a race was only ever 5 more points than everything else. Like you put this big emphasis on winning, but then it's only 5 points. Like, it feels like I really like what they did. I'm very happy with these changes. I'm shocked people are still finding ways to complain, but I guess that's true of everything.
Steven, that's NASCAR fans in a nutshell, dude. That's just we hear it every single week when we're on live. We see it in Facebook groups. Nothing's ever going to be good enough for somebody. So you just got to hope that 55% of the fan base is happy and you just go from there.
Yeah. You don't have to tell me. I know. I'm unhappy a lot with NASCAR, but I think NASCAR gives us a lot to be unhappy about a lot of times.
I don't disagree with you.
This was not one of those things. Like, NASCAR makes plenty of bad calls. This was good. This was good for the sport. This was good for fans. This is good for drivers. I don't know how anybody lost here. It's the networks that get their chase that they've been looking for. Like, it's great all the way around. And I highly doubt that we will ever see in this new era this new championship era, a championship that gets locked up before the final race of the season ever. And I would
I
be
agree with that.
almost, I'm not willing to, but I would almost be willing to bet on that.
I agree with that. And I know a lot of people are afraid of that because of well, first of all, it wasn't even in this chase format. I mean, Kenseth ended up winning the championship in 2003 at Rockingham.
Yeah.
And there was still one more race left. They had to run at Homestead. And I think 2002, I think Stewart locked up the championship before they ran Homestead. Like you said, it's not going to happen in the chase. I really don't think it's going to ever happen. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Steven, before we let you go, I got one more question for you. This one's more fun. You talked about working at Domino's. You talked about working at Outback. I got to ask you, which restaurant was your favorite to work at?
So, wait. I'll answer this question in the chat before I get there, so I don't miss this.
Oh
guy.
yes, sure. Let me pop it up real quick.
To Ian and Dickie Dennis.
Yeah, we got Dickie Dennis chiming in on YouTube. He goes, "How do you guys feel about the stage race?" And I'm in favor of it going away. Also,
I'm fine with it everywhere but road courses. I'm sick of it at road courses. Like, I actually don't mind it at intermediates. I don't really mind it at short tracks. I despise it at road courses. Just get rid of it. And even if you want to do the points to keep the format the same, just get rid of the caution, man. The caution is actually a way bigger problem. Like, think about it this way. I don't know how many people would complain if we gave away points at the intervals without cautions, which has the same practical effect for NASCAR. People race harder near the end of these stages, right? Because they're fighting for points come the lap count. But we don't have the interruption in racing, the unnatural interruption in racing. And then what we've seen a lot of is caution breeding cautions after that. And then Ian says, is there anything I would really want to change if you were? Yeah, I would add more horsepower. I think that's pretty easy, right? Like I think you need more horsepower in these cars. I think you have to fix the short track package, man. You got to fix the product. You got to fix the road courses. You got to fix the short tracks. You got to fix it. And you got to fix the plate racing. Like, we should not be watching 169 miles, 170 miles an hour around short tracks ever. Or, sorry, 170 miles an hour on short tracks would be crazy. 170 miles an hour.
There's your horsepower.
Right, I guess so. Yeah, but I think right now we're going in the right direction. And last but not least, Domino's or Outback.
Sorry, not to put you on the spot there.
I'm gonna have to go Outback because that was my favorite restaurant. It's like I just had my birthday dinner at Outback. Like, it's not a bit. I truly love that brand. It's sort of how I feel about Dodge. Like, I truly love that brand, and I would rep it till the end of the earth. So I'm gonna stick with Outback.
I gotta go. One more question here.
Yeah,
because you just brought up Dodge. So you've definitely seen the new Dodge Ram with Race for the Seat with Colleague. What do you think about that series? And do you do you personally think this is a good way to get guys who can't get in, get that ride that like you were talking about, but now can try to prove that I can earn this seat, and you get 15 guys in here to battle it out?
Oh yeah, I'm a little pissed I wasn't on it, but of course they went with all guys who are really, really talented and have a super strong racing resume. So I get it. I think it's a great way to get it done, and I think Dodge is onto something. I think there are some kinks to work out for them. I hope they do it again. I hope they do it for the rest of the time they're in the sport. I really do, because I think it is great opportunities. I feel the same way about the free agent program. I think the free agent program is awesome, but I will say this. And maybe I misunderstood, but the way I had always seen and understood the marketing thing was to give drivers opportunities who we don't usually get to see. Tony Stewart, while I am thrilled, I'm a Tony Stewart guy.
Okay.
Orange was my favorite color when I was a kid, so I picked Home Depot car and I stuck with it. Tony Stewart does not need Dodge's help to get in a race car.
No, that is very accurate.
He has his own sponsors. He could drop $100,000 on it whenever he wanted. Tony Stewart does not need that. So if you're going to call it a free agent ride, then give it to people who deserve a shot. Give people a reason to want to drive for Ram. If you're going to do all-stars, then just call it an all-star car. and
Mhm.
all stars. For me, so I am working on an all out marketing blitz on Ram, trying to get them to come out and give me one of those free agent rides. If it comes out that this is just an all-star car and all the guys they're putting in are already stars, I'm going to be pretty upset.
Sure.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yes.
And the other thing is too, if they also just put the 14 people from the show in there, I'm going to be like, well, this now this is it's not really a free agent ride. It's a consolation prize for the show, and it's media. It's an all-star car.
Yeah.
So it's not really, you can't call it a free agent car anymore.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. So, but I am thrilled to have Ram back for so many reasons. I think OEMs are great for the sport. I think
Mhm.
Dodge and Ram are great OEMs to have in the sport, and evidently so, they're investing so much time, effort, and money into the type of marketing our sport needs. It's how we make stars. I think it is great, and I am really, really pumped to have it back.
I think, and Steven, I think a lot of people are just as thrilled as you are with Ram coming back into the sport. From all the fan interactions we gotten from a lot of the driver, everyone's happy to have Ram back in, and I don't think they ever wanted to see him go.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that this time around that they stick, and I'm hoping that they learn from their previous lessons, and they're here for the long haul. Because I'm like you said, I'm all about more OEMs in the sport. I mean, personally, for me, I would love to see Honda eventually make a climb into NASCAR. But at the same time, I am happy to have 4 OEMs back in the sport.
Well, there's at least some long-term promise because I don't think Kaulig would have abandoned
Agreed.
Chevrolet with 2 charters in the long term if Dodge weren't coming to Cup. So
I agree.
that's Dodge is coming to Cup. It's just a matter of when. And Kaulig is not going to do very well because they're not going to have any manufacturer support for the next however many seasons. So I actually wouldn't be shocked to see Dodge in Cup next season because I don't know that Kaulig can survive for 3 years without any type of manufacturer backing.
I agree with you on that. I think that, like you said, Matt Kaulig, they're pretty innovative at Kaulig Racing. They're always kind of forward thinking a little bit. And I'm like, there's no way in the world they're going to stay with Chevrolet but have a Ram truck program. And this is going to drag out until 2030. I agree with you. I think 2027, I would be shocked if it's even 2028 because I think it might be too long. But Steven, thank you so much for joining the show tonight. We wish you absolutely all the best in law school. Great dialogue tonight. Thank you for taking your time out of your really busy schedule, man.
Yeah,
this was an absolute blast. And like I said, Jake and I wish you the best of luck, whether you're get that ARCA ride, and obviously with graduating law school, that's an honor within itself, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. And
yes, thanks, Steven.
I will definitely be sure to stop by Pocono this year.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
We'll let you know. We'll definitely let you know, man. All right, Steven, have a good night.
Yep.
Thanks, man. Good night.
All right, now with Steven Milazzi, Craftsman Truck Series driver, who joined the show with us, Jake. A lot of good insight there. A lot of great insight. It's really cool kind of getting to discuss with him in regards to some of the driver perspectives, right? Driving on a, Xfinity car or a truck car up at the at Pocono, what his thoughts were with the chase format. I think some of our fans hopefully should feel relieved that if they were anti-chase, you heard from a driver that the chase format is a good thing, a good balance for both the sport and for everybody else.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I mean, I learned. I just learned a few things from him that I never knew, and I'm so happy to now know just like you said, the perspective that he gets to talk about because he's raced two different types of cars now, and to get his perspective on different tracks and stuff like that. That was awesome.
Yeah, if you're listening to us live on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're at, feel free to chime in. Blown Engine chat line wide open for you guys. Thank you for Ian and Dickie Dennison for asking questions. Chime in on what you heard. Let's analyze it together. But first, Jake, let's get into basically the post stuff after the Steven interview. for our fans as we lead you to the Cookout Clash on Sunday. Let's get to some fast headliners real quick so everyone's caught up to speed. First up on the board, Grizzly Nicotine Pouches is going to be sponsoring Ty Dillon and AJ Allmendinger. They've extended their sponsorship with their previous 2-year-old partnership. We also have Discount Tire. They're going to be expanding their sponsorship with Team Penske and Austin Cindric, and I believe Ryan Blaney in the next coming years. Fox Sports made an announcement today. The other day, excuse me. They will be putting Mexico at full speed with NASCAR. They'll have NASCAR races in the Mexico market, which is absolutely incredible. Exploding the market, more fans. Also, we have another announcement that Bass Pro Shops Winchester Ammunition will be with Richard Childress Racing in the near future as well. They announced their sponsorship agreement. Also, finally, I know a lot of fans are excited about this one. NASCAR Studios and Fox Sports announced a new original documentary. We lost Dale Earnhardt 25 years later, so we had the Amazon Prime documentary last year with Dale Earnhardt, and then this year Fox Sports will be producing a documentary as well. So final sponsorship update for all of the fans that are listening to us live. Advent Health, they renewed their sponsorship at Legacy Motor Club. They'll be sponsoring Eric Jones in 11 races in 2026. So those are your sponsorship updates as we head towards the Clash. Whew. All right. Jake, a couple things coming out before we get into some Clash discussion. Charlotte Roval, officially off the schedule this year. They are going to be going to an oval. What are your thoughts?
I love it. I know. Really? I saw you post. I know some people are upset about it. I'm not a road course guy. I'm happy. I get it. It was an iconic race. I get it, but I'm an oval guy.
I'm an oval guy too. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. Yeah, I posted about it and on our Facebook page at the Broken Wolverine Podcast for following us. I posted about the death of the Roval because I personally am very disappointed with it. I am all on board with the ovals that are already in the chase format, but I do think that at some point we do need to put a road course in the chase. We need to have 10 races. We need to have 10 races in the chase playoff to reflect the full overall body of the season. And I think cutting the Roval might have been kind of the dumbest thing that they could have done because that was an automatic road course that you didn't have to shuffle another road course into the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was confused because NASCAR had said they want to do more road courses, right? So when they got rid of it, I was like, why? I thought their narrative was they wanted more road courses. Why are we cutting one? Are we cutting one because we added one?
Well, that's my whole thing that I'm kind of interested about too, because like I said, you cut the only road course out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the big thing about the Roval was to have a road course in the playoffs. And now you're putting all these ovals into the picture. Yeah. And I get it. And listen, I will never disagree with anybody that is listening to us live, any of the fans, that we have too many road courses. I agree. We have too many. But I feel like this one was kind of the one that you don't cut. But the other problem is that it is also ran on an oval, primary oval, right? Charlotte's a roval, or an oval, excuse me. I think that they wanted to switch things up. But now I'm looking at the playoff schedule, right? We have Darlington, we have Gateway, we have Bristol. Okay, you have, the 1.33 egg-shaped track. You got Worldwide Technology Raceway, which is Gateway. That's also an egg-shaped track as well, more flat. Bristol's a short track. Then you got Kansas 1.5, Vegas 1.5. Okay, that's reflecting the body of the season. I get that. Now you go to Charlotte, the 1.5 oval, and then you go to Phoenix, Talladega, Martinsville, and Homestead. So I kind of, for me, I'm like, okay, we have all these ovals.
Yeah.
Where is the challenge? And for a competitor and a fan that loves competition, I would love to see them at least try something different. The Roval created different challenges for all the drivers. It did. Yes, unfortunately, SVG has completely blown the road course discussion out of the picture, right? He's just so talented on them. But at the same time, at that point, SVG is not going to be pretty much in the chase. I'd be shocked if he is, right? There's a very slim
Yeah,
chance.
be very
So
shocked.
these other drivers that are in the chase, it's like, okay, we're coming to the Roval. Just go there and get a good points day, get out of the Roval, and then go into the. Now you got Oval.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a goof up with NASCAR, and primarily to me too. And I can't confirm this. And if anyone has bought Roval tickets for 2026, did they make an announcement when those tickets went on sale? Because this came out at the last minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be surprised. I'm curious. That's a good point.
I mean, the schedule was created at the towards the back end of 2025.
Yeah.
Did any driver know about this? Like the fans, I don't think knew about this until the last second.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like NASCAR at this point is doing this Back to the Future theory thing, which I'm happy with the chase format. I will not complain about. I was a playoff guy, but after hearing Steven's perspective on it, I am all in on the chase. But at the same time, like we don't need to cut everything out of the picture now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here, like, and this is another thing that you just brought up a great point when you talk about SVG and road courses. Now that they went to the chase, so all these guys know every week that we're going to go to a road course, this guy's 98% of the time going to win them.
Mm-hmm.
So is it we show up on this weekend, just don't wreck my car and finish the race and go to next week? Is that what they're making road courses? Is that why they got rid of it in the playoffs? Is because like, I just got to go finish the race and just place okay.
That's an interesting perspective because it almost seems like back in the late 90s, early 2000s where you had your road course runners, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's called is SVG is probably the best road course runner we've ever watched.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But now you've kind of isolated, and someone brought this up to me a long time ago. They said, Matt, with the chase coming back, the chase format, not the playoffs, what driver and what team is going to be affected the most? And I think we had this discussion on Saturday with this person. And it was definitely Trackhouse Racing and SVJ.
Yep.
Trackhouse Racing in the playoff format. And now with Zillage coming up to the Cup, if they were running the playoff format, they would most likely have 3 cars in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ross, Connor, and SVJ.
I think they struggle to have one.
I don't know.
Depending on it. I don't want to count out Ross Chastain because he can be very consistent and be very good.
Yeah.
But like I don't know what Connor Zillage is going to do. None of us is going to know.
He's a rookie. Let's call it as this. We're banking on him being elite this year, but he's still a rookie.
I'll give him a win. I'll give him a win this year. For sure.
I mean, for me with Ross though, like this format does I think better fit Ross Chastain because of the consistency.
Yeah, but how long do you keep SVG in a car for?
Well,
he's going to finish 25th every freaking year in the point standings.
Well, it's called as is. There was already rumors last year that he was most likely going to be out of that. He might have been out of that car.
Yeah.
They were already talking about that. So, I mean, like I said, I guess in regards to overall like performance in the chase perspective with all the drivers in the chase, it's let's cut the Roval out. We get the road course ringer out of the picture. They go on ovals, and we're hoping for a better competitive race. But as I said, though, I would be kind of annoyed, in my opinion, if I was a fan and I bought Roval tickets and they made the announcement this past week.
Yeah, no, I would be annoyed.
Unless there was an email that came out. And if you're listening to us live and you bought tickets, let us know. Blown Engine chat line, because like I said, this screams real, like, to me, it's very shady that they just did this at the last second.
Yeah, because it's this thing, like, okay, and I totally get where you're coming from, because it's like, okay, I can go to Charlotte.
Yeah.
I want to go to the Roval.
Mm-hmm.
I paid the Roval for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would be pissed. I go to Charlotte every year. But but maybe this year I want to go to the Roval. Experience it.
I feel like the only one that would know that question, I don't know if he's listening to us live, Trioval Life. If he's listening to us live, I know he would go to the Roval every single year. Let me know if you're listening to us live or you hear us. Let us know if, as a ticket holder to the Roval, if Charlotte Motor Speedway ended up giving you guys an update that they were changing it to the Oval before you bought the tickets, because I am curious on that part. But in regards to NASCAR, I'm not happy that they pulled the Roval out of the play or the chase this year. You should have kept it in. You reevaluate the situation in the 2027. And if you go, hey, you know what? We had this guy who was a road course runner at SVG. He ends up winning the race, blew everybody out of the water. That's when you change it back to an oval.
Yeah.
Because you clearly the whole point of this move for NASCAR's perspective was we need more competitive races among the 16 that are qualified for the chase. We can't have a guy who's most likely not going to make the chase. Let's call it as is. Unless, who knows? Maybe SVG was on that sim all off season and figured out how to run ovals. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
And nobody knows. And we don't know until we start getting data throughout the season and all that type of stuff. But it just seems like more of a shot at, hey, we're taking SVG out of the picture. So the 16 guys that we project, you guys are going to have a full run at the championship run. Let's go to the Blood Engine chat line. Dixie Dennis 61. He checks in. Two things here. He goes, bye-bye Roval. I'm old school Charlotte. Was not made to be raced as a road course. I feel like a lot of fans, my man, are feeling the same way you are. And then he said on his second question on the Blood Engine chat line, how do you guys feel about losing a race at Richmond? We lost the race last year in 25. I mean, I didn't like it. And I'll tell you why. I think that legacy tracks in the sport should always have 2 dates.
Yeah.
And what are the legacy tracks, Jake, that I always talk about? Daytona, Talladega, Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, and Atlanta. Those are your core 6 that started with the sport from Darlington. So there's 7 of them. Those 7 tracks, in my mind, are the core foundation of the NASCAR fan base. They should always have 2 dates.
Yes.
I hated that they got rid of Richmond. I really did. And they're like, well, the attendance. And it's like, guys, like you took Richmond out for a date at Mexico City, which now became San Diego Street Course. And I know you guys are trying something different and all that type of stuff. But at the same time, I think it's kind of silly that we eliminated one of the blue blood tracks, which Richmond, in my mind, was never really a problem in this next gen car.
Mm-mm.
I think racing at Richmond this next gen was absolutely incredible. I think the tire wear that was really the only track, the short track, that actually had great tire wear in that race.
Yeah.
Think about, since that next gen car came in, think about 2023, right? Well, we'll start off with 2022 in the sprint race. Denny Hamlin ends up winning the race.
Yeah.
It was all tire wear. But for me, I just think it's kind of silly that we got rid of Richmond because we needed, like I said, I think those 7 should have never been touched. And to be honest with you, this goes back to an argument, Jake, years ago when NASCAR got rid of 2 Darlington dates for California back in 2004. That was bullshit back then. That's bullshit now. Those tracks in the South should always have 2 days.
Yeah. No,
They're
I
exciting.
don't disagree with you.
And I'm not an asshole. I'm not an old school fan. Oh, we should never go west of the Mississippi. I'm never going to say that. But at this point, like, I don't need 2 dates at Texas, which they ran for multiple years. They finally got rid of it. Thank God.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, and I 100% agree with you, 100%. And I know NASCAR is big about fans, because it's a dying sport, quote unquote.
Which it's not.
It's not. People say it is. It's a quote that I fucking hate. I hate reading it. I hate hearing it. And it's like,
it's people on Facebook that are miserable.
Yes, exactly. And here's the thing. Okay, yeah, we want to try something new. Well, I feel like you've gotten a lot more backlash that people hate road courses. And whatever. Do you, it's your business, whatever. But at the end of the day, does anybody ever factor in what the drivers want to do? You put every single one of them drivers in a fucking room right now and you say, you guys want to race San Diego Street Course? You want to race Richmond twice a year? I think one guy raises his hand for San Diego and his name's SVG. My personal opinion.
I've said this to multiple fans for years, right? I said this to multiple fans for years when we lost Fontana. I never wanted to lose the Southern California market. I think that's a very vital market, and it's rich in history on the eastern side of the state. The problem is when they lost Auto Club, they lost a great racetrack, number one, that was high speed and very entertaining to watch. And I get it. We are not on the business side.
Nope.
And people will tell us all the time, you're not on the business side. I get it. Amazon, NASCAR, whoever the warehouse, they bought the land. I get it. But NASCAR should have pivoted and built a 2-miler to get that ready when Auto Club's land got built and bought. They should have had another track ready to go in Southern California. They should have.
Yep.
That was their fault. And for someone like Steve Phelps, who's no longer in the sport, for the innovative, quote unquote, forward thinking he was always doing, why didn't you think about the future on that? You lost, I mean, and I get it. You had the LA Coliseum, but that wasn't a points race. That was an expedition race.
Yeah. And it was stupid.
God. Okay. So that's going to lead us to the next topic. The Clash.
Dumbest fucking race of the year.
So, yeah. All right. So, our Thirsty Thursday question went out to everybody. And thank you so much for everyone that responded to us and got involved in all that type of stuff. We had some really good answers. We got answers from a lot of people. And I would love to sit there and name every single one off on your racetrack preference. We got a lot of great ones down in Florida, all that type of stuff. But the common answer that we had from where should the Clash run next outside Bowman's Gray? First of all, let me say this on air for all the fans that are like, Matt is criticizing the Clash at Bowman's Gray. He hasn't been down here. It's a great racetrack, all that type of stuff. First of all, I know it's a great racetrack. Hear me out. Let's bargain. I'd rather see Bowman's Gray ran as the All-Star race. I don't want Bowman's Gray at the Clash. When they announced that this was going to be the Clash, believe it or not, folks, I thought about the weather. Yes. And yes, is it cold in North Carolina and Winston-Salem at that time of the year? Sure it is. But what are we getting on Sunday, folks? Snow down there.
Yeah.
And I was always thinking about that in the future. And I know that we had one of our fans end up saying, well, it's a historically cold year. Okay, well, what happens in 2 years when it does become cold again? And it snows. I don't think that running Bowman's Gray for the Clash is good for the sport, and I don't think it's good for the fans. And it's due to weather. That does not mean I want to see Bowman's Gray off the schedule. I absolutely do not. I would prefer to see Bowman's Gray as an all-star race. This year, our all-star race is at Dover. That's going to stink. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to stink.
Yeah, for you and me, give us Dover back.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's more logistical and territorial, protections. But the point is that Bowman's Gray, North Wilkesboro became a points-paying race. So your next move should have been, okay, well, what are we going to put in the All-Star race? I love how they stay in the Charlotte area for the Coke 600, and I love how they stay in the Charlotte area for the All-Star race. Winston-Salem is, I believe, an hour and 15 north of Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken.
You're 100% right.
They should have just kept Bowman's Gray and moved it to the All-Star race and tried to figure out what the Clash was going to be. Now, like I said, we got a lot of great answers. And, Jake, you said something funny. I'm actually going to disagree with you. I love the LA Coliseum as a Clash. It was an expedition race. I don't care. It was clever. It was fun. It was unique. And guess what? It didn't count for points. Who gave a shit?
No, yeah. No, I mean, I thought it was cool. I think you're using an iconic stadium and you're using it for NASCAR, which I thought was cool. This is my thing, Matt. I get it. The Clash is like NASCAR's back, baby.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it. I love it. But do you want to know what I want to hear? You know what I think of when NASCAR's back? I want to hear the famous word Daytona. Now you got me hyped. I don't want the first race of the year to be some shit race. I'm like, great. Now I got to wait to be able to watch an actual amazing race, probably if not the best race of the season. Pick a better track. Make it more interesting, please. Like, you might as well make him race on fucking dirt then to make it fun.
So it's funny you bring up Daytona because that was the number one answer that we got.
Yeah.
We need to bring the Clash back to Daytona. Okay. Well, let's talk this through, folks. Logistics, TV partners, and what else is going on during this time of the year? The Super Bowl.
Yes.
What has NASCAR showed you on their schedule from 2018 all the way until today? they love Sunday night viewership. They love Sunday night viewership. Late start times. It gets the fans that time to eat dinner in the East Coast, sit with the family, watch whatever track we're running. What is the week before the Daytona 500? The Super Bowl. Who is a TV partner of the NFL, folks? One of the four. Fox. Is Fox going to clash with their almighty Super Bowl?
Hell no.
No.
And if they do, how many people are going to watch the fucking Daytona 500?
The Daytona Clash. The Clash at Daytona.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, the Clash at Daytona. I don't know. Maybe me and Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
If the Eagles or the Steelers aren't in the playoff and in the Super Bowl, probably we'll watch it.
It won't even be on FS1 because guess what? FS1, all they'll be doing is doing live discussions. They'll be on FS3. I don't even know. Like the point, and the other thing too is and there's a lot of fans that are like, well, like make Speed Week the true Speed Week. Well, the Super Bowl is the Sunday before. Okay. And yeah, it would be cool if Fox broadcast the Clash and then we went to the Super Bowl. That'd be awesome. But the other thing too is they would, back in the day when they ran the Clash and it was all full Speed Week, what did they do? They ran the Clash, they qualified, then it went through Speed Week. The other problem is that so Fox is probably going to be like, listen, we'll run the Clash the week before the Super Bowl. So you got the Clash, the Super Bowl, the 500. Teams logistically are not going to keep their personnel down at Daytona for 2 weeks.
No.
They're not going to drive back and forth to Daytona. And someone asked me, they're like, well, what's the difference between driving out to California, back to North Carolina, down to Daytona? They're not keeping people out in California for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Those cars were going out. That personnel was going out Saturday. They were taking a flight Friday night, and then that was it. They were coming back home Sunday night after the race, and then the haulers were coming in. You're not keeping your equipment down there. So here's another thing. We got into another fan of ours says, well, why don't we run it like Tuesday night? We did that once back in 2021 during the COVID year, which to me, 2021 was the best start to a NASCAR season I think I could ever recall. But the point is that we ran the Clash on a Tuesday night. What television broadcast ended up having it? Fox. What did Fox do? They didn't even run it on Fox. They ran it on FS1. That's viewership. They're not going to run the Clash on a Tuesday night. They're just not, folks. They're not. They want the Sunday night Fox broadcast.
Yeah.
And the week before the 500 is going to be the Super Bowl. Listen, I went to Daytona 2 years ago. It was the greatest day of my life, outside the birth of my son and getting married. But the point is that Daytona, I would have loved to gone down the whole week. Go down Saturday, watch the Clash qualifying Sunday, hang out all week, do the whole nonsense, and then go home after the race. But unfortunately, they're not going to do it anymore. No. We've got to let Daytona go. Yeah. And my final question to this, Jake, and obviously we were talking about the Clash. Bowman's Gray. Like I said, I don't want Bowman's Gray off the schedule. Just make it an all-star race. Make it the all-star race. But find another track to make the Clash. But has the Clash become an afterthought, though?
I think so.
Because originally, the premise of the Clash was what? When it first came out. We're going to run a short race, 75-lapper at Daytona for all the previous year qualifiers. Whoever won a pole the year before runs the Clash. Like, and when you watch Fox, we watched Fox with like the NFL this past couple of weeks. Have you heard one thing about the Clash?
No. I haven't even seen a fucking commercial.
Fox is broadcasting it, but I've seen the 500, which rightfully so. Let's call it. It says, and by the way, Kurt Russell is the honorary pace car driver. I love Kurt Russell, so that's great. I will say though, I had the Rock the year I went. That was two Lehigh Valley guys just representing. I'm just saying. But has the Clash become an afterthought? And it's almost getting to the point where it has become an afterthought.
Yeah.
And I get it. We get our whistles wet a little bit, watching the cars go around and all that type of stuff. But it's an expedition race. And I don't think, personally, Bowman Gray Stadium deserves that. I think they deserve an actual fun product.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't have the answer for you tonight on what track I would think that I would make the Clash. I'd have to think about that one here.
No, but like I said, we had a lot of good answers, and I appreciate everybody's responses. If I didn't reach back out to you, I apologize. Everything was blown up. If you are listening to us live while we talk about the Clash preview, feel free to chime in if you have a track and all that type of stuff. So, Jake, that leads us to the Clash. Let's do some Clash picks before we head out. So, last year, Chase Elliott ended up winning this race, right? He led a total of 171 laps. To believe it or not, actually, Chase Elliott looked like the best car that weekend.
Yeah.
It was the first time I could actually say that. That he looked from start to finish, he looked great. And I was like, cool. Are we foreshadowing a Chase Elliott year?
Yeah.
We didn't. He led 171 laps. Denny Hamlin led 28 last year in the race. And then, of course, we had our, qualifying races. The qualifying heat races. Chase Elliott won race 1 in the qualifying heat race. Chris Buescher won race 2. Denny Hamlin won race 3. And Tyler Reddick won race 4. To be honest with you, Reddick, I thought was going to be a little bit more of a player in this race last year. Ended up finishing 8th. So I was a little disappointed. Last year, it was a little bit disappointing on that end.
Well, you just said the guy's name who I was going to pick to win it, so.
Okay, so who do you got?
I got Tyler Reddick, and I got an oddball, Ty Gibbs.
So Ty Gibbs isn't. Oh God.
So one and only time you're going to hear his name out of my mouth this year, so I might as well do it for the Clash. Well, it don't matter.
I am in a fight with people on TikTok about Ty Gibbs. So I cannot. I got to stand pat that I'm going against Ty Gibbs because I think he's going to be out of a cup ride. But
he only wins things that don't matter, like an in-season championship,
in-season tournament. Yeah, in-season tournament.
It fits it. Not bashing Ty Gibbs, just speaking truths. But I'm gonna pick. The only time you're gonna hear me say his name in a positive probably way this season, which I could be completely wrong. The guy could come out this year and win fucking 3 races. Who the fuck knows? I don't see it happening. But I'm gonna pick Ty Gibbs.
Well, it is put up or shut up for him this year. Yeah. Because if he does not get it done this year, I don't care how much sponsorship. And I had somebody say to me, "You don't know the business side of NASCAR." I do know the business side of NASCAR, and sponsorships want to see their cars running in the front. They do.
Unless you're like Childress.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
But the point is that they want to, Monster Energy picked him because he was young, he was talented, and he has not done shit in the Cup Series. And
I can't argue.
I know his grandfather's Joe Gibbs and all that type of stuff, but let's call it as is. Monster and Joe Gibbs have a good relationship together that started with Kyle Busch. Yes,
Joe Gibbs is a businessman. He'll say, dude, you're out.
The guy's in the NFL Hall of Fame for a reason, and NASCAR Hall of Fame as well. Just saying.
Who do you got?
Yeah, it is put up or shut up for Ty Gibbs this year. Who do I got this year? Clash. Not enough data. But if I'm going off of emotion and feeling, I'm going with Ryan Blaney.
Okay.
I'm going with Ryan Blaney. Last year started this race in 23rd. He actually, believe it or not, used a provisional to get into the race. And ended up climbing up the field, finished second behind Chase Elliott. It was a massive factor. Got through the field quickly.
I do remember him fucking driving right through the field.
Yeah, he got through the field really quickly last year. He's really good on these short tracks. I like Ryan Blaney a lot. Another driver I'm going to go with. I am going to go Buescher.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Buescher. Last year he started second, faded to 10th, but I have a feeling Buescher is probably going to be much better in this race. I do like Ryan Preece a lot too. Ryan Preece, short track guy.
Yeah.
I like Preece.
I guess I could say Christopher Bell too.
One guy now this is pretty interesting because I've heard other shows talk about him. This driver I find pretty interesting, and I'm actually going to fade Denny Hamlin this week. And the reason why I'm going to fade Hamlin, and I get it, he's an experienced driver. He's been in this Cup for a long time. Denny Hamlin went through a lot of shit this offseason. And I don't think that his mind is going to be in an expedition race.
No.
I think he's going to put his best effort forward, but I don't expect Denny Hamlin to be Denny Hamlin the way he's used to. So I am going to fade Denny Hamlin. And so if you know us very well from this podcast, if I fade somebody, definitely pick them because they're going to win. So Before we head out, Jake, we got one more comment on the Blown Engine chat line, and from our man Dixie Dennis. He checks back in again in regards to the Clash. Where would he want to see the Clash be ran? South Boston would be cool for the Clash. South Boston Speedway. We got a couple of those answers this week from our question of the week. I like the idea of South Boston. The problem with South Boston is that South Boston is going to be dealing with the same stuff that we're dealing with in regards to weather. South Boston,
if not colder,
probably colder because it's in Southern Virginia. So for me, I like the idea of South Boston, but hopefully, maybe we can get South Boston on a regular schedule, maybe an all-star race or something like that. But
I was gonna say all-star, yeah.
Like I said, a couple things coming out of this episode. Like I said, I am not anti Bowman's Gray at the Clash or the Clash at Bowman's Gray. I am not, or I'm anti Bowman. Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. I'm anti Clash at Bowman's Gray. I'm not anti Bowman's Gray being off the NASCAR schedule. I would rather see it as an all-star race. I think that is a perfect setup for an all-star race.
Yeah.
So,
couldn't disagree.
Jake, a lot of good stuff tonight on the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast. Once again, I want to thank Stephen Malazzi taking time out of his very busy schedule for joining us live on air. Really cool to have him as a different perspective from a driver's perspective, talking different types of strategy. Really cool backstory. Again, if you don't know who he is, Stephen Malazzi, follow him on Facebook and also other social media platforms. Instagram, I think, is the best to probably follow him at. So once again, I want to thank Stephen Malazzi. Jake, absolutely awesome show tonight. I want to thank everyone who chimed into the Blown Engine chat line this week. Dixie Dennis, Ian, everybody, thank you so much. If I didn't get to your comment, I'm sorry. We ran out of time. With all that being said, folks, though, we are back. NASCAR season is finally here. It is back. Bowman's Gray, the Clash. Let's get ready to rock and roll. We'll be on next week, next Wednesday night. We'll be back on, folks. Talking to all of you about the Clash, and we're going to be doing a discussion of the Clash, and then the following week we'll be talking about the season preview with all of you. So with all that being said, enjoy the Clash wherever you're watching it. If you're going down there, be safe with the snow coming in. Jake, have a wonderful night. I'll chat with you next week.
Yep. See
all
y'all.
that being said, have a good night.